Here's my advice to hack the matrix of your mind. There's 4 steps: witness, understand, shift, and safety. Let's start with the first one. As we start to witness our own thinking, we start to change our level of awareness consistently and really take a leap forward in consciousness. I want you to go ahead and say your goal out loud, whatever intention that might be. You want to manifest a certain amount of money, manifest love in your life, manifest some sort of object in your life. I want you to go ahead and say this out loud, whatever your goal and intention is. And then what you're going to do is close your eyes and actually listen to the thoughts that follow. And what you're going to find is the first limiting thought. Find it. Even if your mind wants to try and stay positive and say, oh, I got it, or that's exciting. Wait for the surface talk and then find and witness the limitation that's going on in the mind. That limitation is very, very important. And I want you to go ahead and write that down. So you might think something like, I can't do that. That's impossible for me. How is that going to happen? I don't know where that's going to come from. When's this whole thing going to unfold? Follow the thought pattern. Find the first limiting thought that comes up. You're going to dive immediately into number 2. As you find this thought pattern, understand it. Where's it coming from? Really understand it. Go into a deeper part of yourself. Because when you're starting to manifest, there's a matrix of your mind that's keeping you in its grips. And the matrix is essentially just a programmed part of you that is somebody else's way of thinking, way of believing. It's been passed down from generation to generation, over and over, passing ways of thinking, passing ways of doing things. And a lot of people don't even know what they're doing. They just say, well, my family believed in it, so I believe in it. Change the way about it. So listen to that thought. Let's do the example of, I can't do this. Maybe that's the limiting thought. Seek to understand, who's telling me I can't do this? Is it me? Is it my mind? See if you can put a name or a face to the voice. That sounds a little bit like my grandfather. That sounds a little bit like my first grade teacher. That sounds a little bit like X, Y, and Z, right? Find it, understand it, talk to it. Ask it, what do you need? Why are you here? What are you wanting from me? And oftentimes that voice is going to say things like, I need to know that we're not going to take a big leap and fail again. I can't be crushed like that again. Or you might ask it, why are you here in the first place? And it might say something like, I'm here to try and protect you. As you begin to understand that voice, a lot of people around you would think you're crazy, so you shouldn't probably tell people you're doing this, right? They can be like, you're talking to yourself. Like, that's probably not a good thing, right? But what you're doing is actually being introspective, understanding the voices that are going on inside. Seek to understand it, see where it goes. In the comments below, let us know, what's your voice and what are you understanding about that voice that's coming up? Again, find the first limiting voice, not the first positive voice. That one's fine. That's usually something going on that's good. So we just want to find the limiting voice to work on it. Number 3 is you need to shift it. Affirmations are really great because you can say the opposite of what you're wanting and starting to get into it, but it's not usually enough. And sometimes people feel like, well, it's not working for me, the affirmation, right? Here's the difference. When you shift, what you're really looking to do is shift the idea, maybe the opposite, but feeling as if it could be a possibility right now. That's the major difference. So you want to shift it. Instead of that limiting thought saying, I can't do something, you're going to shift it into, what if I could? You see how I'm not shifting it to I can, because that's usually too big of a jump. There's something in the psyche that's going to limit it. It's going to block you, and you're going to try and manifest what you're wanting, and you're just going to keep constantly in this space of resistance. And resistance is our ways of thinking, our limited ways. So if I'm trying to shift what I'm trying to do here, instead it could be, what if I could? You shift by asking empowering questions. What if it was possible? What if I could take one step today? What would that look like? Listen again to the voice that follows. The voice is usually a little bit more calm. The voice will say, okay, maybe. Or it might still say, I still can't do it. And you say, okay, what if I could 5%? What if I could accomplish this just 5%? The voice is usually weaker, less resistance, and saying things like, yeah, I think that maybe. Your inner dialogue will start to change. So you start to shift through empowering questions. Comments below, put your empowering questions. Let's see what our soul tribe can come up with on the channel. And then number 4 is safety. Behind all fear is a sense of unsafety. all fear. So that voice that's going on is almost always for protecting you from a perceived threat. Now, the perceived threat is you don't have a cobra in the room next to you, I'm sure. You probably don't have a tiger that hasn't eaten in a couple of days and ready to rip anything apart in front of you, and you're the only thing it wants to eat, right? You're not in that danger right now. Your mind thinks it's in that much danger when you're trying to manifest what you're wanting and it doesn't feel safe with having that thing. Huge point. So what inside of you is feeling unsafe about, if you want to manifest $500 in, usually you feel pretty safe about that. You want to manifest in $30,000. Whoa, if you're not used to that, the mind thinks, alert, alert, that's not familiar, that might not be good. Now, a lot of my clients will tell me, well, Scott, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would my mind not want money? I want money. I know I'm safe around it. Why would that doesn't make sense. Here's where it does make sense though. The mind associated having a lot of money with something bad a long time ago. An example would be you heard your mother and father drive through a rich neighborhood and they said some sort of comment. Look at these rich, filthy people. Or, yeah, they probably only stole to get that house. Or, look at them privileged people, right? These are comments that are made and they link, ooh, I don't want to be that. If you're a kid, my parents who I love or trust or respect in some sort of way, like those are the idols when you're a child. I don't want to be unloved, and it doesn't look like they love those people. Oh, so I better not, my nervous system better be good with not having money. That must be the way that's good. You see what happens? Guess what happens with the nervous system when you actually receive money in? When you receive an unexpected amount of money that feels unfamiliar, most people will spend it as fast as it came in. Why? Because their nervous system has been rocked. It feels, oh my gosh, I'm going to be a bad person. Nobody's going to like me anymore. I'm going to be unloved. I'm going to feel unworthy. And that part of you is that young child, that inner child feels, if I'm not loved, I'm going to be thrown in the woods and I'm not going to survive. So it linked having $30,000 to possible death. Isn't that crazy? Now, you're not doing that. You're not thinking that way. That's not how the conscious mind, I'm not saying you're doing that, but that's the part of you that feels like it freaks out over things because it feels unsafe. So that's why we're changing and shifting. The safety, how can you find safety now? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to go within and say, I feel safe because whatever you believe in, a higher power, source, God, universe, you feel safe. You see what I'm doing? I'm not getting safety from having enough money. I'm not getting safety from somebody outside of me. I'm not getting safety from over here, over there. I'm getting safety from something, wholeness inside of me to a higher place. Whatever you believe in, right? So if you don't believe in a higher power, you just say, I feel safe because I can find safety within me. Easy enough. It's a practice you do, finding safety. And then you tell that voice, what if I could bring in an extra $30,000 and feel safe? Would you be okay with that? That's a very different question than if I brought in $30,000, would you feel safe? It's almost always going to say nope if you're not used to it. But if you said, if I bring in that money and I create safety, would that be okay? Almost always it's a yes. Try it out. Say it out loud right now. Pause the video. Say it out loud. Takes 10 seconds, 5 seconds. Okay, now you're here back. After you said it, did you feel like a little shiver, a little shift, something happened inside the body? When it agreed, your conscious and subconscious are now binded together on the same goal, and you feel good. It's not fighting you anymore. This 4-step process here, hacking your mind, hacking the matrix of your programmed mind and where things have been, is so powerful. Every client I ever give it to, every member that I ever provide in my different communities and programs sees the change in seconds from creating that safety and creating that security within. Try yourself, experiment, give it yourself an experiment, and if you don't like it, go back to where you were. That's fine. Just try it out. If you don't like it, go back to the way you were. If it didn't work, it didn't work, right? But the least you could do is give it a try. And if you found any value from this video, throw a like on the video and subscribe to our channel. I'd love to have you be here with our Soul Tribe family as we're growing our family very vastly and everyone's starting to become very connected. We see a lot of our Soul Tribe becoming really good friends, especially joining in our Prosperity Magnet community as well. where everyone gets step-by-step directions. We have people meeting up and networking and coming together as friends. And then also we have our group coaching and mentorship if you're looking to be on one-on-one calls with me, group coaching style, and understanding prosperity, understanding consciousness, deep spiritual practices, deep healing, evolving yourself to a higher elevated level. It's what brought me from 0 to 7 figures. It's what brought me to a place that things become a lot more peaceful and happy inside. You really become who you were born to be, but it's through the deep healing. It's through the mindset. It's through the higher levels of awareness. So if you're ready to work on you at a bigger level, you're ready to stretch, it's making you feel a little nervous and excited, I would suggest you go to the links in the description below right away and check them out. Get some information. Me and my team can help you out and get on a call with you if you feel like you need some questions answered or anything like that. But if you're feeling anything, your heart in it, it's the right move, it's the right time. Why not you? Why not now? It's your time to thrive in a big way. I encourage you to watch this video every day over and over. If you can, maybe 10 days straight. As you do so, it's less binge watching so much stuff, and instead you become it. You start to live the teachings, and that's going to be a very different lifestyle for you. Okay? Haug signing off here. I look forward to seeing you over in the next video.